Welcome to Foundations Friday, episode 64. You don't really know what you're doing until you face resistance. This is inspired by an interview of Teddy Atlas, who was on the Art of Manliness podcast. I think it's from May of this year. If you haven't listened to the Art of Manliness, and it's a great interview by host Brett McKay, definitely check out the Art of Manliness podcast. But what they talk about is they're talking about boxing, right, and fighters. And Teddy Atlas says, you're not really a fighter unless you face resistance, right? You've hit bags, you're in good shape, you're an athlete, but until you actually have to fight against somebody, you're not really a fighter. And Teddy Atlas brilliantly says, forget boxing. What about life? You're not a doctor until someone's bleeding from where they're not supposed to bleed from. You're not a lawyer until you prep a case, and then all of a sudden you're told you can't use your evidence. Or talking about, with this show, you're a project or program manager, and you've passed whatever certification exam, and you think, oh, cool, I know all this stuff, and then you get in the real world and it doesn't match up. So, or you're a parent, right? You're a parent, and your baby's new, and they get bigger, and then they start talking back, and then they don't want to listen, and then they get hooked on video games, or, until you've navigated the difficulties in whatever profession or personal life, or with yourself or with somebody else, you don't really know kind of what you're doing, and that's a good thing. Same thing held true in the incident management world, right? I'm a planning section chief, and I got signed off, and I did these things for pretend. Well, it's going to be a different situation when I go help for a flood or a missing person or something else, and then there's already someone there that wants to do that job, or I have to navigate the relationship, or, and that's fine. That's how we get better. Resistance isn't necessarily a bad thing. It builds us. It helps us figure out how to navigate that resistance and truly hone our craft as a parent, as individuals, as professionals, in whatever profession you're in. So just be okay with that. If you're someone new getting into a field and you've passed all your tests and you've gotten your certifications and you're approved by whatever organization, that yes, you have a ground, of knowledge and a base, but you don't really know what you think you know, and accept it, because it's totally okay. All of us learn from good things we did, bad things we did when we were first starting, the reality versus the book. And that's just the way of life. Thank you for making this podcast part of your life. Asking a favor that you all can start sharing this more, and, leave a review on Apple Podcasts. It'd be really helpful to grow the show and get the message out. Thank you so much. Heading into the weekend, have a great day. Stay safe out there. Wash those hands, and Godspeed.